Cobra Kai has finally reached its finale, and we're going to talk about how it ended. Did it land on its feet? We are fans of the show, even though I got to tell you guys right here on the outset, I was not a fan of the 5th season, and I really wasn't digging the 6th season, but did they recover it for me? Did they land on their feet? That's what we're going to talk about, and we've got some comments from William Zabka and the showrunner about the finale and Cobra Kai, so let's get into all that, and most importantly, we will know what you think. Here we go. All right, Nick. This is something that you've been waiting for. Cobra Kai, the last 5 episodes, it has happened, and sad to say, it's over. Like there is no more. This was a good, solid show for a lot of fans, and now the entire thing has ended. So, thoughts as you went through the final episodes?
So, I really enjoyed the last 5 episodes, and I thought it was, for me, it was some of the best TV I've seen in a while. I really enjoyed it. Spoiler alert a little bit. Well, I'm not going to spoil it.
Let's get into spoilers. Like, there's no point in not doing it. It's been out for days.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys haven't seen it, you can click off of it, come back and watch when you've seen this, seen all the episodes. But the CGI of Mr. Miyagi was terrible.
It was bad.
Terrible. Even though I appreciated that scene in that moment, the CGI of it was not good at all.
Mainly, it was just his face.
Yeah.
They did not have, what was the guy's name? Shamook. They did not have Shamook on this project.
Definitely not. I don't know who they had on this project, but they need to upgrade that position.
At one time, his face started to crunch together.
Yes, it was almost like a PS2 graphics or something. It was not good.
Yeah,
but again, like I said, I appreciated the scene in that.
The scene was great.
Moment. But yeah, the CGI was not good at all.
Was that the highlight of the last 5 episodes for you?
No, that was one of them. The other one was when Johnny got Cobra Kai back after him and Kreese had that conversation and had that emotional moment between the two of them. Mm-hmm. And even when I was watching it, I was like, is Kreese being serious right now, or is this just more his BS? You know, his manipulation. And I guess he was being for real because, later we find out.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, so later we find out he goes after Terry Silver, basically takes him out. They both die, blow up on the boat.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, I don't know how anybody's surviving that explosion.
Well, the showrunner's going to talk about that. We're going to look at that in a second.
Okay, all right. So when he got Cobra Kai back and they all came out with Cobra Kai gear on, I was like, oh, okay, now it's come full circle. Mm. This is badass. Like I'm really enjoying this.
The training montage between Johnny and Daniel is what got me, and they were playing the best around, but it was like a Rocky montage. Mm-hmm. Very 80s, very nostalgic, hilarious, and having Johnny fight. I had the feeling watching the tournament that Johnny was going to get to fight. I don't know what it was. I just had the feeling we're going to get to see Johnny fight in this tournament. It's going to happen. And then it happens, and I really do think that was the best way for the show to wrap. Johnny coming full circle, reestablishing Cobra Kai, being the leader, and fighting and winning this time, unlike he did in 84, as we all know. I thought that was really, really good. It was a great payoff for the entire series. Yeah. I kind of feel like that's what we were missing through the series. There was too much, for me, this is just for me, there was too much intermingling between Johnny and Daniel. I get it, that carried the series for a while, but bringing the dojos together, Cobra Kai basically completely faded away. Yeah. And it was way more Miyagi-esque, karate, not Cobra Kai. They got away from that. For Johnny to bring that back, get back to his roots, that was a big win for the show. That was a great way to end it. Not just the whole thing with his family, and he's got a house now, and the kids are going off to college. All the entire ending was really, really well done. I got to hand it to him for that. But Johnny carried it in the end, and that's the thing that I liked going back to the first season. Showing the other side of Johnny, of William Zabka's character. He actually talks about that, Nick, in this article. He says when they first pitched the idea of the show to him, he says it was a redemption story, but it would be rough around the edges, and Johnny opens up Cobra Kai again. He said his initial response was, really? Why would he go back to Cobra Kai? So they pitched it as a redemption arc, and he says, but I didn't have a full, clear picture of what that would look like. He said, I was more concerned about how we stepped into it and where Johnny is today. I was very protective that he didn't go down with the proverbial crane kick at the end of the show because he was the biggest heel of all time. But they kept assuring him that their words with their words and whole hearts on how much they loved the character of Johnny and loved his work, and that it was going to be more of a Better Call Saul treatment. And make him an anti-hero. Now, that's one thing that I was actually not wanting to see at the end, was Johnny actually used the crane kick. And he teased that. He talked about that. Daniel was like, that was because you're going head on, be careful. That might not work. For a moment in that final fight, I thought for a second that Johnny was about to use the crane kick.
I thought he was too.
I was not going to be a fan of that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be either. It's sort of like Alien Romulus, where that one guy uses the "get away from her, you bitch" line, and I'm just like, oh, what? Like,
it just didn't. It wouldn't have felt right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree. I agree with you there for sure. Other than that, I thought that the fighting was good. William Zabka definitely came across like an old man, even in the training montages.
Yeah.
He's running like an old man now because he is.
Yeah.
We are. You know what I mean? Like, we're there now. So that's just what it looks like. But I thought all that was done really well. Now, you mentioned Kreese and Silver and the boat blowing up. Now, I got to say that you also mentioned the Kreese scene with Johnny. Mm-hmm. I felt like in that scene, it kind of just came out of nowhere. And like with so much that has happened between the two characters over the 6 seasons, that just kind of came out of nowhere for me. And it's because they're wrapping the show. I get it. But that moment just kind of came out of nowhere. And the emotions involved. Now, I never thought Kreese wasn't being true in that moment. He sold it. The character sold it. I thought, that was a real moment. And John Kreese does go out and basically save Johnny without Johnny's even knowing that he did it. And he fights Silver. The boat, as you guys are aware, explodes. So is that the end? Well, funny enough, there was a deleted scene, Nick. There was a deleted scene that, and they've teased showing it. And I wanted to kind of go through it here with you. Cobra Kai creator reveals a major cut finale moment, and it involves one of Netflix's biggest unanswered questions. Are they dead? Well, yeah, I would say I'm like you. When I saw that explosion, they're dead. That's it. And I didn't really feel a lot when that explosion happened. Like, okay, they're dead. That's it. And the show's about to end. But the showrunner says, we even took it a step further and had Martin Cove's hand reach in to pick up the magazine, Johnny on the cover, Sports Illustrated, partly for the 0.000001% scenario. We decided we wanted to imply that Kreese was still alive, but more so just to entertain ourselves, since we always joke around about how Kreese likes to fake his own death. So they filmed that. Like, that's something that they actually did, where they have his hand come in and pick it up. And that's a decision that they wrestled with, do we show that scene? Do we tease that at the end? They decided to leave it out of the finale, to not include it. And they basically say, for the first time in a long time, there's peace in the valley. And you just have to assume that they're gone. I don't think that we ever see Martin Cove back as John Kreese.
I don't either.
The characters are gone. I think, sadly enough, I think that we're going to get one Karate Kid movie. And then, Nick, I got to tell you, I think the franchise has ran its course. I think that's it. I don't think after the Karate Kid movie that we're going to be getting anything else. I don't see a spinoff with the younger characters coming back. I don't think that will work. Without the old guard, it won't work.
I agree. They can't carry the show by themselves. I enjoyed them as characters in the show. The way they, built those characters up, I actually felt something towards them, had some emotions, some feeling towards them. But as far as me having any interest in seeing solo shows and journeys, just covering them without Daniel and Johnny being a part of it, I have no interest. None. So that's kind of where I'm at on it.
I don't either. I agree. Now, if they ever came out with a Johnny Lawrence Karate Kid movie, I would go watch it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That would be an opening night watch for me.
Yeah, anything with the original characters, I'm down for.
Well, I would be much more like, we're getting the Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio Karate Kid movie. I would be more excited about a Johnny Lawrence movie.
I would as well. And I was not on board with this merging those universes, bringing Jackie Chan and Daniel together thing. But after watching the trailer, I was like, this
looks
actually
decent.
Doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So, I'm for sure going to check it out and give it a shot. One other thing I wanted to mention that maybe a lot of people didn't pick up on, freaking, what's her name? Elizabeth, I can't remember her last name, from Saved by the Bell, who showed up
Hurley.
in the yeah.
No, not Elizabeth Hurley. God, and then I almost said Shannon Elizabeth. I don't remember her name. Somebody tell us in the chat. Jesse Spano.
Yeah, Jesse Spano. She makes appearance in this show. I was like, what? They got her to be a part of this, and try to go on that blind date with Chosen. I thought
she's a weird tarot card reader.
Yeah, with her crystals, and he was freaking just dogging her, and I was loving it. I was like,
now that's another criticism for me. I wish we had gotten some more Chosen in the final episodes.
Yeah,
he truly was relegated to a side character completely at the end.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll say about Chosen as a character in the show is they kind of turned him into a goofball.
They did.
Like if you watch him in Karate Kid 2, he's the bad guy.
No goofball at all.
There's no goofball. And he's just turned into like freaking C-3PO or something. Like I don't know what was going on with him. I would have liked it more if he was more of that hard edge.
If we could have seen some flashes of it. Yeah, you've grown up. That was a long time ago. You were a rough kid. You were a bad kid.
Yeah.
But to bring a little bit of that out every once in a while. Now, he did have the awesome fight scenes where he confronted all the bad guys himself.
Yeah.
He's a badass. There's no doubt about it. So,
another surprise for me is Mike Barnes wasn't in any of these last 5 episodes. I liked when they brought him back, and I was hoping that he was going to continue to be, or at least make an appearance or something in these last 5 episodes. But they cut him out completely.
They did. It's hard to tie all those loose ends. There's so many, and to be fair, they had to rely on all of those pieces to carry the show.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see Daniel in anguish over a memory from 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I don't think about when I was 12 and something bad happened and wake up dreaming about. I mean, like I'm so far removed from that. But it's part of what made the show go, and it worked. It did work. So it was a great experience. It was a great run. I was not feeling season 5 or season 6, but they executed the landing beautifully. It was a great send off for the show and the series. And I got to say, it's some of the best television that I've seen in a long time as well.
Yeah. And I just started Reacher last night, season 3, and it's off to a good start for me. I like it. Alan Richardson, his freaking political crap, like
keep it on Cobra Kai. We're gonna do a Reacher video.
Yeah.
Oh, no spoilers.
Yeah.
If you want to see that one, come back later. I'm shutting him off. All right. Thanks, guys. We are You Are Cobra Kai Network. See you on the next one.
Bye, guys.